Hey guys, welcome to day 4 of 13 Days of Halloween. I'm starting out with my Tim Holtz Abandoned Paper Stash, and this paper has so many wonderful colors in it. I want it to kind of match with some of the inks and stuff I have. So I have Magicals in Mad Hatter Mint Green, Seedless Preserves Distress Stain, Laid Back Lilac Dilutions, and then Chipped Sapphire Distress Stain. I actually don't end up using, well, no, that's not true. I use 2 of those colors. So yeah, I'm just going to rip, little strips from my paper. In hindsight, I wish I had made like bigger strips so it would show up more. And I also have some like vintage kind of papers I'm gonna sprinkle in. And then I'm gonna put some of the Tim Holtz washi tape down because I have so much of this stuff, and oh, you guys, I'm weak. I bought the new one that came out this year. I don't know why, because I don't even really use washi tape. I'm just a sucker for it, so I need to start using it up. So I'm just gonna, there's like a skull and crossbones and then the spiderweb one, which is my favorite. So I'm just gonna rip those and put those around and then use my Collage Page mat to put down my different papers. I have some music note paper and just some like plain vintage tone paper that I'm gonna sprinkle in. And I'm just going to keep layering that until I'm happy. I am concentrating most of my elements in the center and like center right of my right hand page, but I'm also going to bring it over a little bit to the left page because I really like a 2-page spread that kind of has like the majority of everything on the right, but then it kind of blends over a little bit into the other side. So that's what I was going for. And then I'm going to do a little stamping just for like some texture interest, not so you can actually read what the words say. So I have this stamp that says City Morgue, and then another one that has like a quote about black cats and witches, "'Tis near Halloween," both by Viva Las Vegas Stamps. And then I'm going to use my gesso. This is the Liquitex Professional Gesso. It's super smooth. The Liquitex Basics, ugh, so bad. Gritty. I hate that gritty gesso. So this is the Professional, and it's super smooth. So I'm just going to apply my gesso, like coming in from the background into like my paper elements. I'm trying to make them look like they're fading in from the background and not like I just slapped them down. So I concentrate most of my gesso like on the outside edges of my papers and stuff, and then try to kind of like fade it in towards the center of my papers. I wish I had left more of that color of that pattern paper showing. Oh, so good. But I didn't. My stamping got covered up, so I picked another stamp, also by Viva Las Vegas Stamps. It's kind of in that like Ray Dunnish kind of font, and it says, beware of werewolves and witches and, you know, other spooky words. And then my favorite, all-time favorite Halloween stamp, Branch with Spiderweb by Viva Las Vegas Stamps, just because it's my favorite, so I'm stamping that around. And then I have the little houses and stuff are from a Tim Holtz Sizzix die called Ghost Town, just came out this year. And then the frame kind of, it has like a crow and a spider on it, so it's like Halloween-y. And it also had like a skeleton with a top hat in it, but I just cut the skeleton out. And I feel like I could use this frame like all year round. I could cut the little bird and the spider off because, you know, themed supplies can get a little pricey, so I like to be, if I can use them, not just for the theme they're intended for, then I like to do that. So I'm going to take some black soot distress ink. I'm going to squeeze a little out my craft sheet, and then I have Purple Twilight Adirondack Color Wash, and Laid Back Lilac Dilutions ink spray. And I'm just going to color these little branches. They're from a Tim Holtz die that has like different leaves and stuff. And I'm just going to drop in my color here and there haphazardly, not covering the entire thing. Just like I said, here and there. And then the color wash is super intense, so I need to add water to that so it's not like so bam, because it's intended for fabric, so it's super intense. And then I'm going to drop in some of that black soot lastly, and I am going to try to leave a little bit of white space on some of my leaves, not too much though. In hindsight, I wished I had colored these like maybe green or something, because the purple blends too much into the background, and I feel like another color would have made them pop a little bit more. But you know, you live and you learn. So I'm going to use my glossy accents to glue my little leaves down. I'm going to glue some under my frame. I'm going to like kind of wrap some around my frame, they're like going to be underneath and then coming up on top of the frame. And then I'm going to glue some straight on top of the frame. And then I have one of my little houses that's going to go on top of the frame. And he's also going to have a branch on him as well. Oh, I forgot to mention, so I die cut this die out of cheap black cardstock like 6, 7, 8 times, and then I just stacked the paper together to make a more thick chipboard-like embellishment. I like to do that with dies to like stack quite a few pieces of paper together so that you can get a thicker embellishment that's more substantial. So then I'm going to take my Bride of Frankenstein, also by Viva Las Vegas Stamps, and I stamped her on Nina Solar White cardstock because that's great for Copic coloring. And I'm just going to do a little coloring with E50, E51, and E53. Very pale colors because, you know, she's the Bride of Frankenstein. I am by no means a Copic coloring expert. I am like, you know, I was going to say not that good at it, but I don't do any of those fancy schmancy techniques. I just start out with my lightest color and then work my way to the darkest and then blend them together. And that's it. So I have C3 and C1, which are cool gray colors for her. I know they're supposed to be white, but I want them to look like they're colored and not like, you know, I just forgot to color them. So I figured cool grays were the way to go on that. Sorry guys, I have a cold. That always happens when I'm trying to do a bunch of videos and my throat really hurts, so I'm like taking sips of water. So I'm going to take a little bit of gesso and kind of dry brush it over all of my elements. And again, I wish I hadn't done that because it makes everything look like one big blob instead of standing out like I wanted it to. There's a lot of things that I would have done differently in this page, but like I said, you live and you learn. And maybe I'll redo this kind of layout and fix it in the future. So I just put some of that pattern paper underneath my Bride of Frankenstein. I put her in the frame, and then I also put some washi tape. And then I'm making like a little kind of like poem out of these Tim Holtz Halloween clippings. I'm really trying to use these up because you guys, I am so irritated. I had the clippings pack from, I guess, last year. And then this year he came out with like a spiral kind of book of stickers, and it had more clippings in it. And I thought they were new and different, but they're exactly the same. So now I have all these Halloween clippings, doubles of these phrases. I'm so mad at myself for not looking more closely and just buying it. Ugh. And I'm also irritated for them repackaging the same thing in new packaging. Not cool, guys. So I'm also going to add a little bit of like embellishment cluster in her hair. I have a bat, a little piece of a leaf, and then like a little label that says poison. And then I also put the Tim Holtz embellishment packs. They're called bits because they're like smaller. I have a 31 that I put underneath my bride. And then up top there, I'm going to put a bat, and I also have two kind of like labels. One says toxic, and the other one is just kind of like a medicine label. And then I'm going to take my Mad Hatter mint green for a little bit of a pop of a different color. I chose the this kind of mint green because it's kind of like goes with the Halloweeny, but I didn't want it to be like your expected like kind of lime green, you know what I mean? But I kind of wish that I had used a brighter green to make it pop a little more. But it is what it is. It matches the pattern paper anyway, although I didn't add any of the green parts of that paper, I don't think. Not that I could see in the end anyway. So yeah, and then I also added splatters with that green, and then I'm going to add some splatters with my black India ink, and that's going to be it for my page. I kind of wish there's like that big blank space there on the left. I wish I had done something with that, or not have added that embellishment cluster up at the top, so it just would have been a little bit coming over from the right page. But again, lots of things I would have done differently. But all in all, I like it. So there's my little poem there. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know how you guys use your washi tape, because I got to use this stuff up. I like to use it like I did here, but also cover like a piece of cardstock and then die cut shapes out of it. So how do you guys use it up? Because we got to do something about this. Okay. Yeah, let me know in the comments, and thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye, guys.